If you really want to understand human behavior, you'd normally look right at the people making the most noise, right? But what if I told you the actual power dynamics in any room are completely invisible to the untrained eye? Okay, let's dive into this. In today's explainer, we're doing a fast-paced psychological breakdown of a seriously deliberate behavioral strategy. We're zeroing in on the absolute most dangerous people in the room, the threat hiding right there in the shadows. We are pulling back the curtain on these deep mind secrets and cognitive strategies that, honestly, most of us are completely blind to. Think out any boardroom, social setting, or gathering you've been to recently. There is this incredibly stark contrast. Our eyes are naturally glued to the people practically screaming for attention. It's just human nature. We automatically look at the loudest object in the room. But profound behavioral data actually shows us that the most dangerous people in the world are literally never the ones screaming. While everyone else is, desperately seeking that spotlight, aggressively pitching your ideas, or trying to totally dominate the conversation, there is a completely different game being played. There are individuals sitting right in the back of the room, silently observing your every single move. They aren't distracted by the noise at all. They're the ones watching the noisemakers. So, what exactly are they doing while they just sit there and silently observe? Well, they're mapping you. Yes, you. While you're jumping in and participating in the social dynamic, these quiet observers are meticulously cataloging your data straight from the shadows. They are literally mapping out your weaknesses, your triggers, and your habits. They're watching what makes you angry, what makes you laugh, and what you carelessly let slip when you think nobody's paying attention. Picture a casual Friday meeting where everyone's guard is totally down. While others are busy venting about a project, they are silently noting exactly who gets defensive, who desperately craves approval, and who falls under pressure. They are building a full-blown psychological profile of every single person in the room, hunting for those invisible buttons they can push later. Now, the clinical behavioral science term for this exact phenomenon is absolutely fascinating. It's called selective disengagement. It's a highly specific tactic where individuals intentionally hide their intelligence and pretend to be entirely harmless. Let me be clear, this isn't shyness. This definitely isn't social anxiety. This is the deliberate, calculated weaponization of harmlessness. By actively choosing to disengage from the usual competition of egos, they completely mask their intellect. They actually want you to think they're utterly unremarkable, just another totally average face in the crowd. So how do they actually pull off this whole illusion of harmlessness? Their infiltration tactics are incredibly subtle. They smile at your jokes, they agree with your opinions, and above all else, they remain completely 100% forgettable. Think about that person at the last networking event you went to, or maybe a dinner party, who just kind of nodded along to everyone's stories, giving a polite little chuckle but never ever taking a firm stance on anything. When someone agrees with you and laughs with you, your guard immediately drops, doesn't it? You naturally categorize them as an ally, or just as non-threatening background noise. They are actively engineering their own camouflage, simply by reflecting your own ego right back at you. All of those sneaky little tactics roll up into one seriously chilling psychological concept: calculated opacity. Just listen to those words. Calculated opacity. They are intentionally making themselves absolutely impossible to read. While you are out there broadcasting your thoughts, your feelings, and your strategies to the world, they are a completely dark grid. You can't see into them at all, because they would systematically shut off all the lights. It's kind of like playing a high-stakes game of poker, where you are forced to show your hand to the entire table, but your opponent's cards are face down the entire time. The ultimate goal of this calculated opacity is really something else. It creates a completely asymmetric flow of information. This tactic literally forces you to reveal everything about yourself, while they keep their own cards perfectly hidden away. They become an impenetrable vault, and you become an open book. Every single conversation becomes a one-way street of data extraction. You might think you're just having a nice mutual exchange, maybe bonding over some shared complaints or weekend plans, but in reality, you are the only one handing over your cards. To maintain this insane position of covert power, there are a few very specific traps they absolutely refuse to fall into. For one, they do not ever waste their energy trying to win useless arguments. I mean, why would they? Winning an argument requires revealing exactly what you know. It requires showing off your intelligence, which is the exact thing they are trying so hard to hide. Furthermore, they never ever chase shallow social validation. They really don't need the room to like them or admire them, because that need for admiration, that's a massive vulnerability. It's a weakness they're actually busy mapping in you. While everyone else exhausts themselves trying to sound super smart, they are quietly conserving their mental energy. And by hoarding all that energy and all that information, they are preparing for something much, much larger. This all builds towards their ultimate endgame, building silent leverage. And we all know leverage is power, but silent leverage, that is absolute power, because nobody else even knows it exists until it's actually used. Every single joke they smiled at, every emotional trigger they mapped, every pointless argument they avoided, it all compounds into this invisible, totally unbreakable advantage. This brings us to the chilling, methodical timeline of their strategy. It basically happens in 3 distinct steps. Step 1, build up that silent leverage we literally just talked about. Step 2, wait. They wait for the exact right moment. These individuals possess this intense, almost scary level of patience, driven entirely by cold logic rather than hot emotion. And finally, step 3, execute for maximum impact. When they finally do make their move, trust me, it is not random. It is a highly calculated strike designed to alter the entire dynamic of the room in an instant, using all that data they've been quietly collecting right against the noisemakers. Which leads us directly to a really stark realization. By the time you realize they're a threat, they already control the entire board. It is a complete psychological checkmate, because you spent the entire game thinking they weren't even playing, right? So you never actually saw them positioning their pieces. By the time their opacity finally drops and their true intelligence is revealed, your triggers have already been mapped out, your weaknesses are totally exposed, and your leverage is completely gone. So you might be wondering, why do we actually fall for this? Why do we just let them get away with it? Well, it essentially comes down to a massive cognitive bias. Believe it or not, your brain actually registers these silent figures on a deep, evolutionary, subconscious level. Your brain definitely knows someone is sitting in the back of that room just watching, but your ego, your pride, your own desire for attention actively chooses to ignore them because they're sitting there smiling, agreeing with you, and acting so forgettable, your ego instantly categorizes them as unimportant. Actually, scratch that. It's worse. In the end, your ego completely betrays your own survival instinct. I want to leave you with a final burning question today. Look around your circle. Seriously, look at your colleagues, your friends, your boardroom. Who is talking the least but watching the most? You've got to protect your energy and stay hyper-vigilant. The human mind is this incredibly complex landscape of hidden intentions and calculated opacity. You really need to master the human mind before it masters you. Keep observing, stay focused, and hey, thanks for joining me for this explainer.